One of the biggest faction is the Syrian Free Army, which is actually the strongest, mainly defectors from the Syrian army itself. They are mid-ranking officers. They are expert in actually traditional wars. They are well-equipped, well-trained, well-disciplined. But there are also volunteers join them who would like to liberate Syria. The other factions, actually, it's a mixture. There are, a lot of Islamic organizations. One of them, well-known, which is al-Nusra Brigades, which was behind many attacks inside Syria before even the revolution took place. And then there is Ansar al-Sham Brigade, which is very, very strong, or Free al-Sham Brigades, which is very, very strong. And then there is Ansar Brigades also, which is very Islamic and very radical groups. Most of these people are coming either from Iraq, where they used to be very active, especially in 2006, 2007, 2008. And also there are volunteers pouring from many Muslim worlds, especially from Libya, from Saudi Arabia, from Yemen, from Afghanistan, Pakistan. So it is a mixture, a deadly mixture of many organizations affiliated to Al-Qaeda or adopting the ideology of Al-Qaeda.
It's interesting when you use the word deadly mixture of groups. How much can these groups be trusted to be fighting for the best interests of the Syrian people, and rather than just trying to get their group in power?
These groups are not invited to come and fight. Nobody invited them, and they don't need a visa to go to Syria actually and fight. They did not ask for visas to go and fight in Iraq. The same thing is applicable in Syria. They are pouring in. They are coming from, through Turkish borders, through Jordanian borders now, and King Abdullah of Jordan admitted that there are 6,000 of them now inside Syria, and they are fighting against the regime. They are uncontrollable. They have different agenda. Definitely they would like to, to undermine the regime there and get rid of it, but for different agenda, because they consider the regime in Syria, which is Alawite minority, as they said, is atheist, un-Islamic, and there are major Sunni radicals, and they want to get rid of it for religious reason and also for brutal reason, as they put it.
So when we look at countries outside of Syria that are looking to arm the Syrian opposition, as they call it, or the Syrian rebels, do they even know, do these countries even know who they are arming and who they're paying for?
Unfortunately, no, not in all cases. They say they wouldn't actually give this arms to Islamic radical groups like Al-Qaeda. But in the end, in a state of anarchy, like what's happening in Aleppo, sometimes also in Homs, you cannot control, you cannot tell who is who. And sometimes those fighters, they actually changing their loyalties. They shift from a group to another groups. And the Islamist group is very attractive to many of young people inside Syria and outside Syria. So that's why they are pouring it. Like what happened in Iraq, in the Sinnu Triangle, as they call it, they were uncontrollable. And 80,000 of them were recruited by Petraeus when he was actually the leader of American forces there. He paid them $300, and they shift their alliance or their allegiances from one group to another group. So you don't know what's happening now. Now they have upper hands. They are experts in street fightings. They are experts in booby traps cars. They are experts in car bombs. They are experts also in hit-and-run sort of military operations, especially in Syria and Iraq. So they gained a huge experience in Afghanistan. They enhanced this experience in Iraq. Now they are transferring this experience, or their experience, to Syria. So, but who control them? Nobody. The Syrian army cannot control them. The Free Syrian Army cannot control them. There is very little coordination with the Syrian army or the bulk of the opposition groups, political or military groups. So I believe they are lethal, and it's very difficult to control them, even to get rid of them. Once they are there, they may last for years, like what happened in Iraq, what happened in Afghanistan, what's happening now in Syria.